Well, yeah. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm Cree from the ETH Global team. And with us, we have Ori from Optimism. He is going to do a workshop on getting started with Optimism. So yeah, super stoked. Just want to know if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. Ori will try to answer them as they come in. But then if there's any left, we'll do them at the end if there is time. But if you're shy like me, you always have the Optimism Discord chat to put your questions in. So yeah, Ori, feel free to take it away whenever you're ready. And yeah, have a fun workshop, everyone.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope you're not disappointed. This workshop is going to be pretty much quick and easy because Optimism is pretty much quick and easy. Can you see my screen? Okay, good. We'll start with how to use how to deploy to Optimism, and I am going to use Foundry for that just because it doesn't really matter. Just because I use Foundry. Okay, let's first deploy a contract, and here you can see the command line, forge create mnemonic path, and the name of the mnemonic. This is all completely standard. The one exception is the RPC URL. This is our test network. Our main network you can go to as https mainnet.optimism.io, or if you don't want to use a rate limited endpoint, you can always go to get one from one of our many node providers. Anyway, we now deployed the UN Optimism useless token out and we deployed it to this address. Now let's interact with it. Okay, first let's ask what's the balance, 0. Then we send this to we use this command to send the faucet. And now we look at the balance and we have 1,000 of them. Okay, let's look at this in Etherscan so we can actually see what was happening. You go to Girly Optimism Etherscan IO, and it functions just like the normal mainnet Etherscan, except it's connected to our network. Here you can see what contract we deployed. Normally you would have to upload it, but I already uploaded the exactly same contract when I was getting ready for this. The same reads, the same writes. This one just happens to have a faucet on it that you can write to, and then the faucet sends you 1,000 tokens for testing purposes. Anyway, now any questions on this? If not, then the next issue, the GitHub link for it, there isn't really. But if you want to see the source code, then you can just use this link here. And for the scripts, let me just put them in here, although there's nothing really smart about them. This is the deploy. And this is an example of calling something. Okay. Now you're going to tell me, but Ori, this is all very well, but this is for people who use Foundry. We use Truffle or Hardhat or something else. What do you expect us to do? Switch just so we can use your network? Well, of course not. If you look at our GitHub Ethereum Oh, if you look at our tutorial and you can see it in this link, or if you don't have access to the chat for some reason, you can also scan this QR code here. You will see that we have getting started also for Hard Hat, Truffle, Remix if you prefer to use the IDE, of course, Foundry, Waffle, and Waffle. I'm still working on one for Python, but other than that, we've got most of them covered. Next question you might ask me is, Ori, this is great, wonderful. Now, where are we going to get our test ETH from? I'm glad you asked. There's this faucet, Optimism faucet XYZ. And again, here is a QR code for it. And you just need to put, now you need to have to follow at least 5 people to be able to use it. Not to have 5 followers, which could be a pain, but to just follow 5 people. Hey, you just follow 5 people and you get it, and you can get it. You need, of course, an address if you want to receive tokens. Okay, since my MetaMask is having issues, let's just use this test address here. We'll copy it, claim, and we get it in a few minutes. This isn't the only solution, though. Another possibility is to use the Optimism bridge. You could connect your wallet, or you could, if it worked okay. And if your wallet is on the Go Early test network, you can transfer to Optimism Go Early. And this is another way that you can get test if for some reason the faucet isn't working for you. Just use any Go Early faucet. Okay, now you're going to say, yes, Ori, that's nice. And if we were just using, oh, I forgot. For this one, I didn't have time to create a QR code. So here's the URL. You're going to say, Ori, this is great if we want to only use the Optimism network, but we don't. We're trying to do something a lot more sophisticated that requires interlayer communication. How do we do that? I'm glad you asked. You go to our tutorials, and here we have several tutorials. We have crossdom.com. This one is how to communicate trustlessly between contracts on Optimism and Ethereum. Here, let me give you again the URL. And we also have cross-domain bridge. This one tells us how to, this one is going to tell us how to transfer ETH. And I'm going to, it's when when a pull request that I submitted last week gets accepted, the name would change to dash ETH because the new, because there's another one going to be there for ERC20 assets. We don't have one yet for NFTs. The NFT bridge is pretty new, but we have people working on it. Okay, this, almost everything you see in Optimism is EVM equivalent. It's almost the same as what you would see on Ethereum. So this is going to be a relatively short lecture. In fact, we're almost done with it. But one thing that's different is the way that gas calculation works. Oops, I forgot the CD. The reason that gas calculations are different is that we have two expenses. First is the execution fee, which is the cost of using the Optimism network. There is a tiny bit of cost, it's really not much. But the real cost of using Optimism is that we still need to write your transaction to L1. This is the major cost. At least it is on mainnet. On Gurley, maybe not. And therefore, we need to, and you need to also have enough ETH for that. Let's run this. Okay, here we see that the estimate was for the L1 gas cost to be about 73,000 Wei, the L2 27 Wei. The actual costs were pretty similar. There was a difference of 14 gas, but okay, 14 gas on L2 doesn't cost much. Even if we were on mainnet, this would only cost you like 0.014 Gwei, not too bad. And of course, now you're saying, yes, Ori, that's nice, but the fact that you have a script that tells us something isn't going to help us. We need to know how to do it. Well, it's part of our tutorial. Oh, and I'm afraid you can't do that. Test Covan and Test Gurley are completely disconnected. You can't transfer anything from one to the other. You will need to just start accumulating test ETH Gurley on Optimism Gurley. If you need a 0.2 a day, which is what the faucet would give you, is not enough, tell us, explain why, and we'll be able to get you a larger amount. Anyway, here it says how it works exactly, .env config, and this is the we create the transaction, we use the SDK, etc. It's easy, it's simple. If this is not simple enough, please yell at me since I wrote it. Okay, now where do we go from here? We have these tutorials for you, and if you want to see our documentation, we have community.optimism.io, which is our documentation, our main documentation website. The parts that are relevant to you are probably going to be guides and dev docs. Well, getting started in dev docs. Another thing that you can do is you can go on our Discord if you have any problems. Go here, and then you can get into our Discord, ask questions. People will answer you. If they don't know the answer, they will tag someone, in most likelihood me, and I'll see if I can answer you. There is also the ETH Global Discord. There's a channel there for every sponsor. We're one of the sponsors, so you can also ask there for the duration of this. I'll try to answer it. And any other questions, anything I can help you with? Yes, I know. This is supposed to be a 30-minute workshop, and it's only been 15 minutes, and you demand a refund. Well, A, I'm willing to give you back half of what you paid for this free workshop. And B, it is so short because of EVM equivalence. Optimism is built on several principles. One of them is IT should be seen and not heard. We're like the plumbing for Web3. The less you have to think about us, and the more we just work, the better it is. Okay.
Amazing. Yeah.
Just a few questions. One, how would you compare Optimism with other L2 networks? I'm not going to compare Optimism with other L2 networks. The reason that I'm not going to compare them is because I don't know the other networks all that great. Next, sorry, I'm doing them from last to first because it's easiest for me. Can I mint NFTs on Optimism? Yes, depends on what you need to mint for. If what you're minting for is testing purposes, then you go here to getting started, testing on optimistic test networks. And you go to this address and you wait. And you wait some more, sorry. Okay, meanwhile, is there any database public good retroacting funding experiment? Yes, there is you'll need to look in the docs. I'm not sure where it is. Anyway, but for this one, you can go to write contract. Neep, 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 neep. Bong! And here you can call the faucet, and that way you can get yourself an NFT. If you want to mint a real NFT, you can either deploy your own software, or you could alternatively, well, and of course you need to approve it in MetaMask and all that, or oops, we are correct. We need to go to Optimism Go early, which makes sense if you think about it. So let's change this to, oh, I don't have Optimism Go early on this browser. Never mind, it's here and you will be able to see that and you'll be able to use it. If you want to do actual NFTs and you don't want to deploy your own contract, then Quixotic has infrastructure for you. Okay, and public goods funding experiment. We have it, I just don't remember where. Okay, let's go to our user docs at help.optimism.io. The Optimism Foundation. No, it's not here. Okay, then it must be under the governance docs. Actually, here. Vitalik has an answer for you. Okay, any other questions?
I think that might be it. But yeah, if you do have any questions or you just think of them later, drop them into the Optimism Discord channel. Ori and the team will be there to help you. And yeah, thanks so much, Ori. That was super, super informative. And yeah, Optimism's like so easy to use. I love it. So no worries on the short workshop. It makes sense.
Yes, well, thank you very much. And oh, I forgot, if you have any, we also have a YouTube channel. There's an explanation there of how optimism works if you want it.
Cool. Yeah, YouTube. Sweet. All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. See you in the next workshop.
Okay, bye.
Bye.